Hey everybody, it's Kathy Boyle. I'm president of Chapin Hill Advisors. Today we're doing another interview with a fabulous member of our Circle of Influence. We've designed our Circle of Influence to showcase experts in a wide variety of fields and services. When you need an expert, very often you're in a hurry. You need somebody, now, you reach out to your colleagues and friends and you use whomever they used. And that may or may not be a good fit. Making a mistake with an expert is really expensive in terms of time and money, and who has either to waste. So let's get it right from the get-go. You can view our members on our chapinhill.com website under Circle of Influence drop-down menu. So today we are interviewing Allison DePaoli, and she has a really unique specialty. She helps companies contain and manage their health insurance costs. So Allison, let's talk really big picture. What are the issues that employers face in providing healthcare and benefits to their employees?
They're twofold. The first is budgeting predictability for the C-suite. It is an unknown cost. Sometimes it's 8%, sometimes it's 20, sometimes it's 5. You never know what it's going to be. So for long-term budgeting predictability, that's just a nightmare. And the other risk is with employees. Most employers don't realize that they spend an awful lot of time and money developing a health insurance plan, and it is almost useless to their employees. Can't afford
something that eludes them.
Yes.
So let's talk about those buckets. You've told me there are 4 buckets essentially in any health insurance plan. So what are those buckets?
Yes. So the if you're fully insured, if you're self-insured, you have the same buckets. So the first bucket and the biggest bucket is your claims bucket. What are your claims costs? The second bucket is your fixed costs or administrative costs. What does it cost you to run the plan? What does it cost to have your claims administered? What does it cost for repricing? There are several different tools. Those tools, reinsurance. A lot of people are quite scared of self-funding. Oh my gosh, what if I have somebody that has a preemie baby or a cancer claim? Well, there's something called reinsurance for that. So you're going to pay so much. It's called a specific. And then anything that happens over the specific would pass to the reinsurance company and not be the responsibility of the employer. And then the last bucket is profit. So if you're fully insured, you have a claims bucket, an admin bucket, a reinsurance bucket. You just don't benefit from the reinsurance. Your insurance carrier benefits from the reinsurance, and a profit bucket. When you manage your own plan, when all of your vendors are responsible to you, there is no profit bucket. And if you have a good claims year, and 4 out of 7 you will, and you won't spend your full claims bucket, you keep it. You don't give it to anybody else.
Wow, that sounds like a fabulous benefit. So what kinds of companies, at what point does it become something that you really should start to pay attention to, or what number of employees or lives?
So we found that the time to start looking is when you have about 100 employees. If you have 500 or 1,000, that's great. I have lots of clients that we have taken from, that are in that size, that we've taken from fully insured to self-insured. It is a little bit of a process, but I think at that point is when you can start to manage your risk more effectively, and you have enough employees to spread the risk.
Got it. Okay, so let's walk through like an example. You were talking about a claim and a client that you recently worked with.
Sure. So one of the things that we do is a claims analysis of your claims from the previous year, the previous 2 years, particularly for self-funded employers. We looked at, this company had just under $10 million in claims for the year, and we were taking a look into colonoscopies. And there were an appropriate number of colonoscopies, and you want that. You want people to go have a colonoscopy. You don't want to pay $10,000 to the facility for that. In my area in San Antonio, the typical facility charge would be $1,800 to $2,500. That would be perfectly reasonable. We found several that were $9,900 to the facility. Because it was a PPO network plan and there was no audit provision, the plan paid it. That was part of their PPO contract, and they paid it. So of the 60 or so colonoscopies that we saw, and that should be a little bit higher, by the way, there were some that were less than $1,800, the bulk in that $1,800 to $2,500, and then about 15 that were between $5,000 and $10,000. And the plan just paid it. in a well-managed plan, that wouldn't happen.
Got it.
And
So
that's
how do you start? How do you obviously help them analyze this? What else is involved in the process of looking at whether or not this makes sense?
So it is a little bit of a deep dive review. So we look at your population, at what your claims are now. We can get those even if you're fully insured. It does take a little bit of effort, but we can do it. And see what you've got going on. Every employer is a little bit different. So I have a cookbook of recipes to use, but every employer uses that cookbook a little bit differently. And what's right for one employer may not be right for another, and different things drive costs. So you would want to use strategies that address your costs, because your costs for your employees will be different than for mine.
Got it. Okay. So you're in San Antonio, Texas, which I
Yep.
love. Who can work with you? Where's your reach? Are you all over the country? What really would draw someone to you, or for you to say, yes, that's the kind of person I would love to work with?
So I love to work with employers who give me some version of this. We pay a lot for this. We're not really wild about it. We'll suck it up if we have to, but more importantly, our people can't use this and don't like it. And when we can fix both of those problems together, because they go hand in hand, then we can deliver something truly valuable that will give you budgeting predictability and will also act as a recruiting and a retention tool, which is what it's supposed to do.
Right. Absolutely. That's fabulous. So how would we find you if I wanted to reach out and get in touch?
So email acdepaoli@altique.com, website www.altique.com. I'm on LinkedIn, Allison DePaoli, and you can find me at Twitter, AC DePaoli.
Terrific. We're delighted to have you in our circle of influence.
Thank you for having me.